Initiating system 1. System 1 loaded.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome once again, my friends out there in the wonderful world of television land. How are you guys? How's the family? How's the friends? How's the cousins? How's everybody? Hope you are all fine and well. Welcome to season 2 of IQRA Kids TV. Not only do we have the usual features, we've still got, like, let's see the world, where we're going all over the place to see amazing things. We've also still got, we've got Muslim heroes as well, talking about amazing people that did amazing things throughout history. And of course, we've still got the random art show, showing you how to do a bit of drawing, do a bit of colouring, bit of shading, stuff like that. But not just that, we've added to our roster of amazing shows. We've got ABC of Islam, where I've been looking all over the planet, and I mean all over the planet, for those elusive letters that my future self has sent to us. Quite confusing. What's going to happen when all those letters are found? Oh, I'm sure we're going to find out as soon as possible. We've also got Muslim Maestros. Now, Muslim Maestros is about going into our community, speaking to talented individuals that are doing fantastic work in and outside of the Muslim community. And we've sat down, we've spoken to them, and we have interviewed them, and it's all coming up soon. We also have the new feature, Kun Fire Kun, with Professor IQRA, and of course, make sure he's not here as well, Kid Bilal, featuring things that you see every day, like satellites. Well, you don't see satellites, but things like TVs, microphones, microwave ovens. How do they actually work? How does the sun work? Well, if you watch Kun Fire Kun, How Things Work, they'll tell you all about it. Right, before we get on with the show, let me set today's question. I want to make it a bit more challenging for you. Who was the second to last prophet? Who was the second to last prophet? Don't have to send it in to us. Yes, you can see the QR code. Yes, you should click on it, but you don't have to send your answers when you go to our Instagram page. Just go over there, make sure you follow us and like. And if you've got any comments or feedback or anything you'd like to send in, like your amazing artwork, or if you've got an idea for Kun Fire Kun that you think, I'd like to know how this works and that works, we will feature it. All you need to do is let us know on that page. Okay, so the question again before we go for the show is, who was the second to last prophet? We'll find out together in a while. But for now, let's get on with the show.
Initiating system 1. System 1 loaded.
Assalamu alaikum, guys, and welcome once again to the Random Art Studio. We're going to do a special set of pictures for this particular sessions. There's going to be a number of animals because I wanted to focus our drawing skills, going back, way back to the basics, talking about things like basic shapes and using the grid system. Now, if you don't know what the grid system is, don't worry, I am going to inform you what that is. As usual, guys, we always have an open invitation if you want to send your artwork in, whether it's drawing, painting, crayons, pastels, we don't actually mind, and you want it featured on our show. All you have to do, the best way is to send it directly to me on our Instagram page, which is IQRA Kids TV. Do it that way. It's a lot quicker than sending it on the email, and I will see it directly and we'll put it up. We'll feature it here as well because we've had so many amazing bits of artwork so far that I'm very impressed, but we need more. Right, regarding our themes, animals in the Quran. So it's not that random, but it's going to be artistic. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about basic shapes and using the grid system. Right, what does that mean? Okay, if we could just turn to my page here, I'll show you what I mean. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to create a grid like this. This is just an example to show you what I'm talking about, okay? It's just a box basically, and then what we're going to do, we're going to divide that box into 4 shapes, 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And whatever we draw is gonna fall on the inside of this box, okay? Of course, the picture that we choose, in this case is gonna be a lion, has to have these lines on it as well. Now I'm going to go back to my page here and show you on the screen the lion that we've already chosen for you. Here we go. Bing, there it is. That's a very cute lion that we're going to draw. You can see from the picture, I've already put those grid lines on it, and I've also got it on my phone here as well so I can know what I'm copying. Right, as I said, what we're going to do, we're going to create the same grid system that I have on my phone here that you can see on the screen, and we're going to reproduce that here on our bit of paper, right? So if you want to try this at home, by all means, you can use it on a pad or a drawing pencil pad, whatever you've got, inshallah. It doesn't really matter, because I know some of you like to draw on writing pad. It doesn't matter. It's the practice, it's the idea of just getting used to drawing things out and using that technique that's important. Right, so we can see, looking at our picture of our line, it's in a kind of square shape. So what we're going to do is draw out a square shape on our bit of paper here. I'm using, as usual, A3 paper, because that's the bit of the okay. So that you can see that. And I'm going to divide it into 4, just like what we've done on our picture of the lion. Right. Now, let me just increase the brightness on my phone a little bit so you can see my line a lot clearer, because I need to refer to it here as well. You can see that the lion's head is kind of in the top left-hand section. Now, when we talk about basic shapes, we're just talking about the basic shape of his head, which is kind of round, okay? So it goes to the top here, kind of down here, including his mane, and goes up again, or something like that, okay? At this stage of the drawing, we're not going to do any details, okay? We're just going to draw the basic shape of where his head, his mane, his ears, his mouth, his teeth, his nose, his eyes, all of that is going to fit roughly in that shape there. Roughly, okay? Then let's look at his hind legs. Kind of goes down a little bit and kind of goes there, about there, I'd say it finishes there. And his body is kind of like this. The back leg is kind of right about here somewhere. You see, I'm not worried about any kind of detail at this stage. We're just putting in the basic shapes for now. And these basic shapes will change as we refine and add detail to our picture, okay? So if you're doing it, so you can see how many lines I've got, so many lines here, that you can see that I'm sketching it out, trying to feel out where the head goes and everything. Right. So I think I've got the body, the leg here, something like that. The toes are going to go here, or his paws, whatever, paws, toes, something like that. And that leg, goes something like that for now. And then the back leg is going to go round, something like that. Okay, and the tail is going to be somewhere there, okay? As I said, we're not dealing with any detail at this stage. At this stage, we're just talking about the basic shape. Now, if you look at my head, I know you probably feel a bit sick doing it, right? But if you look at my head, obviously the basic shape of my head is like an egg, okay? A bit round at the top and goes down small at the chin, okay? That is what we're talking about with basic shapes, okay? Now, I am going to continue adding in some of the more, trying to figure out exactly where the lines go, and I'm using my rubber, and I'm using this bit of tissue to kind of knock away those bits of filings from the rubber. Okay, so we can see now, I've kind of pretty much got the head in the right place there, okay? Now we can now we think everything is roughly where it should be. We can begin to put a bit of detail in. So for example, where his mouth is on the picture, you can see it just dips below that line, goes back up a little bit, and then the inside of his head, inside of the mane, goes up, comes down, and there's his hair kind of straggling down, and kind of is almost sitting on that line there. okay? Almost sitting on that line. Now, I am using a very dark pencil. I'm not sure, I think it's a 4B or something, in order for me to be able, for you to be able to see what's on the screen, okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see it. But I want you guys to take your time. Your lines should be fairly light at this point, okay? I'm only doing it really dark so that the camera can pick it up as usual, right? But I want you to keep your lines light as possible, okay? Not so impossible that they're impossible to see, but possible to the point where you can see it and you know where you're going. Right, so let's continue with that face. So we've got the bottom part of his mane. His mouth, the bottom part of his mouth just about touches that bottom line, goes up. His nose is kind of like two round balls there, something like that. And his nose is like a round thing on top there. Oh my days. Okay, now if you're struggling with this, guys, don't worry, okay? If this is the first time you've used the grid technique, it does take a while to get an idea of how to do it. But don't worry, with our series of animals in the Quran, we're going to use the grid system for all of it, okay? So that we will get the hang of it, okay? But for now, I want you to just try and follow along as much as you can. Obviously, you're not going to, you've got the line in front of you there on the screen, so you could still use that as an example to show what you're drawing as well. So you should be drawing, for once, exactly what I'm drawing. That's the theory anyway. Right, so let's continue. So we've done the nose, we've done those things of his mouth. I never know what those things are on his heads are, where his whiskers would be, but whatever it is, we've put the nose in, something like that. The eye is kind of like, his eyes are closed, like a half moon or something. It's got one bit of hair hanging down here, like that. And his mane goes over here. There's a line here for some reason. And then his mouth is here. And his chin goes up, I think. But like I said, it's on that line, so we can't really see. Okay, and his other eye here is kind of like this. Right, not bad. Let's continue this. Let's continue with his mouth, okay? His mouth, as I said, is open and kind of goes like this. And then you've got his tongue. You've got one tooth sticking out there and one tooth sticking out there. And his teeth is kind of going to be here somewhere. He's got some jagged teeth there, 2 or 3 jagged teeth. Maybe he's lost a few teeth, practicing by eating trees to keep them sharp. I don't know what lions do to keep their teeth sharp, but he's been at it because they're all missing. Some of them are missing, I don't know why. Let's just draw that nose in so we know what we're looking at. Just put a shade through it like that. Not bad, not bad. We're getting there, we're getting there. Right, guys, again, looking at it again, you can see that the head does fall within that top left-hand side there, and it overlaps here as we've got it here, overlaps way over here as well, like we've done here. The mouth and the nose and the eyes are in this section here. We've used the basic shapes to figure out where everything is and then try and put them in slowly. And that is the key word, guys. Slowly, go slowly, because I want you to be able to take your time, look at it, figure out where everything goes, where all the shapes of his body fit within the grid system. Right, let's continue with the outside of his hair. I'm going to go with his under his chin. His mane goes down here, back up here, and goes down and around and back up like that. And it's got a bit, his ear is over ear. I don't know why I have a problem with the ears all of a sudden. Well, not all of a sudden, as usual. Something like that. It's like a half a circle. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, and then it sticks way out. A little quiffy thing there. Goes back in and then down again. So now that we've figured out some of the lines, we can rub out some of these lines that we don't need. Okay, they're confusing the issue a little bit. Okay, again, I don't want you to use your hand to knock away the filings of the rubber. I want you to use a tissue like this. Use that because you won't smudge the artwork and it won't look, once it starts getting smudgy and horrible, it gets confusing and it doesn't look nice. Okay, so I try to use a tissue as much as I can to actually just knock away those bits of excess rubber that we've created when we rubbed out the picture, rubbed out the lines. Right, so we're going to continue with this line. Kind of goes up here, doesn't actually touch the top. Goes over and over again, and then around, and then it goes out like this. So you can see I'm roughly following the shape that we drew in at the beginning. And then it goes round, little bump there, and it goes down again. Okay, can you see that? Okay. Now, ideally, I need to have a piece of paper. I'm going to grab a spare piece of paper here. I'm going to fold it. It doesn't matter how you do it or what you use, as long as it's a clean piece of paper. I'm going to fold it like this. Why am I doing that? Because I want to rest my hand on something so that I don't, as I'm drawing, I don't want to smudge this part of the artwork that we're still working on. So I'm going to use this to just mask off the rest of the picture. So when I go over here, I'm not smudging the bits that we've already drawn in. Okay, because my lines are going to get quite dark now so that you can see it on the telly. Okay, I'm going to put these lines in fairly dark now. Because I'm fairly happy with it. It's not 100%, but it's close enough. And his ear sticks out ear. Right, let me just get rid of some of these lines here. And some of these lines that we don't need. Okay. I know, even as I'm rubbing out these bits here, these flaky bits, I'm like, I want to knock it with my hand, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and be disciplined and use the tissue as I'm instructing you guys to do. And it does take a while to kind of get used to the idea to use the tissue to rub away these flakes of rubber, okay? But it's all good practice, they call it, good practice, okay? It's good to get into these habits early rather than later so that it becomes automatic after a few goes, and it will take a few goes. I know. Right, we're going to continue putting these hair bits in here that have fallen down to the side of his face, making them a bit darker. Nice one. Right, let's continue with his nose. Okay, my phone's going dark on me, don't do that. Right, okay. Now, I am going fairly fast. Again, you know how it is, guys. I go fairly fast, but I want you guys to take your time. If you have to, you can always watch this video, this episode on YouTube, and pause it so that you can see the picture of the lion. Or, you can go online and find the picture of this lion and copy it from there. It's wonderful how things could work. You don't have to wait on me or on us to send the video. You can just go and get it yourself, the picture yourself. Right, let's continue with his legs. His body goes like this under here, and his leg is kind of here, I'd say. And his paws go like this, and there's another toe there, like that, and then his other leg goes like this. He's got 3 toes, and one just about goes underneath that line and back here. You see that middle line here? This is this line here. That's what I'm keeping that leg, in the same place. Under his underbelly, which is connected to his back leg, which is something like that. And then his toes go here, like this. And his back of his hind legs, like this. And his other leg, I forgot his other leg, goes about here. Actually, it starts way over here, actually. Goes down, and then his toes, his poor toes. His poor toes are there, like that. Right, so you can see we're nearly finished. Okay, we're nearly finished. Right, let's continue with some of the bits over here that I need to just darken for you guys and to show you. The ear is over here, like this. Okay, and I'm going to just increase the thickness of these lines here so that we can see it. Now, of course, once as I've been doing, even these lines around here, the construction line, the grid that we started with, if you want to, you can begin to rub it out like this. It's up to you, depending on what stage of the drawing you are at. Because at the end of the day, they're only there to assist us to make sure we got the proportions of the creature, in this case, a lion, in the right proportions, okay? So once we kind of got a rough idea of where everything goes, you can rub it out. But I'm going to keep mine for now so you can see how the lion fits into that shape. Okay. Now, again, this exercise in drawing animals that are in the Quran is not so much about, like, we've done coloring, we've done shading. This one is more to do with just doing basic shapes, doing basic pictures. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of shading in his mane here, just to differentiate it from everything else, because we've got a bit of time yet. Okay, I'm just gonna put that in like this. Again, even though I'm shading these lines in on his mane, I'm keeping them in the same direction. I'm not just gonna doing anything like that. I'm trying to keep them in the same direction. Okay, so this is like a northeasterly direction. So like I'm taking direction to go somewhere. Right, I'm not. All right, so I'm just gonna, so it's always gonna be in that direction. I'm not gonna start changing direction. Why do I do that? Because it just looks more uniform. It just looks more cleaner, it looks more neater if you get in the habit of keeping your shading in this respect in the same direction like this, okay? It just makes it look a lot better as opposed to just scribbling it in and trying to fill it in as quickly as possible. Remember, everything you do is a piece of art, okay? Including the shading in. The shading in some respects is the most important aspect of it because that is where the thing comes to life. Things begin to stand out from other things. In this case, I'm making the mane stand out from the rest of his head. Okay, can you see that there? Oh, there's next bit. Let me hold it up to the camera. Oh, there you go. Nice one. Say, can you see that? Right, not bad, not bad. I'm going to continue a little bit further. I just want to increase these lines here. I can put, oh, I forgot his tail. Oh no, how can we have a line without a tail? Oh, goodness me. Okay, let's put his tail in here. He's going to be mad at me. He's going to bite my head off. I hope not. Right, let's just put his tail in. And because his tail is the same color as his mane, we're going to use the same angle and shade that in. Okay, I rushed that one a bit, never mind, right. And I'm going to shade his back leg here because it's behind him and it's a little bit shaded in on the original, just to give a feeling that it's a little bit behind. And I'm going to shade the inside of his leg here, where you can see that there is a bit of shade on his body. Okay, and I'm going to do a little bit of shading, because if you look at the picture on the screen of the lion, you can see this side of his mane is a little bit darker. That's obviously why, because the sun is coming from this direction, the light is coming from this direction, and this is light in this part, and this side of him is going to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to put a little bit of a shade on this part here, just to emphasize that the shade is indeed going on the back side of his head. And in the inside of his face, if you like, inside of the mane, I'm going to put a little bit of shading in there, because again, I can see some lines, must be the shadow from his mane there as well. I've already done his nose, I did that ages ago. I'm going to quickly just shade, slightly, lightly shade the inside of his mouth. And I'm going to thicken up these lines to show his teeth and his other tooth and the bottom of his jaw and these things that I can't remember the name of. Okay, those things above his nose. Okay, those things above his nose, whatever they are, right? And his eyes, which are both closed, so I can just fill those in. And a little dot here for his eyebrow, I think, and this one here as well. Okay, right. So let's just do a few more lines. Ding. Right, I think we can stop there. Right, let's have another look. Right, guys, so you can see there, I've used the grid system, yeah? Blocked him in, so to speak, put the lines in, figured out where all of him go, his bits, all of his head, his tail, his legs, his face, everything, and then slowly began to build up the picture. So that is why we're going to continue our theme here on the Random Art Studio of doing animals in the Quran. The first one, of course, was a lion, mashallah, but we're going to continue with this series in other episodes, inshallah. Again, guys, if you want to be on the show, you can either be with me or you can have your artwork featured here. How awesome would that be? One, yeah, you could email your artwork on info@IQRA.TV, or even quicker, as most people have found to do, and it is so much super duper quicker, just inbox me on our Instagram account. Go over there, make sure you follow us, like it, share, and all the rest of it, and inbox me your picture, right? What you should do, get your camera, take a nice picture of your thing, take a few if you're not quite sure, attach it, send it to me. It says, hi, assalamu alaikum, my name is such and such, and we would love to hear from you. Right, guys, this concludes our quick study of a lion as part of our Animals in the Quran series. Speak to you soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. And another show done and dusted. More amazing features, more education, more arts, more features. That's what we want. We want your ideas to make our show as good as possible. Now you can email us, of course, info@IQRA.TV, or if you hit that QR code on our screen right now, even from the comfort of your sofa, you can go directly to our Instagram page, and over there you can inbox us after you've liked and shared all of our bits and pieces. You know what I mean? You can inbox me directly there, DM me directly there, and we will hear your feedback as well. Oh, Khaleel, I want to know how shoes work. When you put them on and they work in it, what's the big deal? Oh, I want to know how televisions work. Well, if you do have an idea, if you're curious about something and want to know how it works, inbox me right now. We'll sort it out with the two presenters, wherever they are. Right, my friends, thank you so much for checking us out this day. Speak to you soon. Reason number 7, it was a massive up. Right? Different things you do.
IQRA Kids TV.